Hey guys, so it has been some time since I posted a lockdown notes video. I couldn't even remember. It has been a very busy month so far. We have never stopped doing our selling, and all of this is digital, so can you imagine how much digital support we really need to extend to our sellers? And although we weren't number one in terms of sales last month, we were number one for March and April, and still doing good. We're still, it's not our usual production, but we have sales, and those were decent numbers, if I may say. I'm not gonna compare it to the losses of other companies, because it's really not. It's something that you really just have to consider, that if you have sales at this time, it's really good. It's really lucky. You just have to be very grateful. And also considering that some people have lost their jobs, lost their salaries, you should really be more grateful at this time. In terms of pay cut, I also suffered a pay cut. It was an unannounced 20% pay cut. It just happened like a thief in the night, and only to find out it's not just a pay cut, it's also a vacation leave cut. So they also deducted a lot from my vacation leaves without consulting me. And this all started from a work from home validation that they asked us to fulfill ever since the quarantine started. And all they told us was to put in just major milestones per day. Don't fill it up with trivial stuff like answering emails, submitting this and that. So we were like, okay. We were thinking, salaries were intact. We were doing like really major milestones. So I had my staff take out all of those things that wouldn't really probably require 5-10 minutes, 15 minutes of their time. It's not relevant. After 2 months, the work from home validation committee gave us back the file and asked and rated us for the number of hours that we put on. I was like, wait, you didn't tell us this is how it should be done. And then there were 4 hours of meetings that they had to slash to just 1 hour, just because they decided, the meeting is too long. Just put in 1 hour for that. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? Because I could have been more productive. I could have skipped the pleasantries. I could have skipped the coaching. I could have skipped the brainstorming, the decision sessions. I could have just, this is my suggestion, and just answer it on email, and just, there's so many things that you could have skipped. But you wanted to be detailed, and you thought that you're doing it the right way, that like you always did before. And nobody said to do it this way starting from now. And it was also hard because you had to backtrack every little thing you did 2 months ago. So it was really like setting you up to fail. And then you think that you would have at least justified a portion, and I was so sad back then because I wasn't able to justify a whole month's worth of my job. So I said, yeah, okay, fine. I'm just gonna give it to them. Because it's hard to go back in time. Because it's hard to go back in time for the 2 months of a per minute or per hour work. It's just not gonna happen. It's so hard. Like, if you tell me now how to do it, I'm gonna do it like every time I log in. I'm gonna like put in whatever I've done. Like even the 5-minute phone call, I'm gonna pile it up until it, because when you pile it up, you'll realize it's 1 hour. And then there's also something wrong with the computation, because they kept on logging 0.1 in our credits for every hour. And I was like, so how do you compute this? Do you compute like on a 10-hour shift for everyone? So that means you're not paying lunch break. We're not supposed to go on lunch break for 10 hours just so we can fulfill a full number 1 credit. So it was all such a mess. I haven't even received any money returning to me. Nothing. And no leaves have yet been returned. They're fixing it. So I'm hopeful. But you know, there are many ways to actually look at this. Some people would say you're lucky you still have a job, you're lucky you still have a salary, and all those things. I perfectly understand those arguments. It's just that I could have been more productive had they told me I would need to use my leaves. I could have done more videos, you know, put out more content, did something that would augment the amount that they would slash off. Because that's just, I think, to be a proper human being, you just have to tell us in advance, right? And you know, when all this is over, if we get through this, when we get through this, it's not just the people, it's also the companies. This is a time when the best and the worst really comes out. And it's not just about how much or how plenty you've provided for your employees. It's not that. It's how you made them feel, really. So all those weeks of me stressing out, is there an answer? Is there an answer? Would have you gone through my numbers? And then they're not replying about the validation reports that I submitted, the one that I filed a dispute for, and then only to find out that my salary was slashed off and there wasn't even a payslip to explain anything, and all the explanations were wrong, and all the computations were wrong. So, you know, it made me feel so messed up, really, the last 2-3 weeks. And ever since the validation reports came in, so I was messed up. I anticipated it, and then boom, they just slashed my salary without warning. So I really felt so bad, and I felt like alone. I felt like nobody was hearing me out. There wasn't any clarity until, you know, but I said, you know, I'm not gonna stop telling people that what they did should be fixed. And it's not about how much was taken away from me, but it's like, don't ever think that you cannot talk to me, because I'm a reasonable person, and I could have been more productive, not just on this job, but on my personal life, because I could have done something to augment the amount. So yeah, there you have it. I hope that you guys stay safe and always forever be grateful. But you know when something is wrong, you just stick on doing the right thing and doing things right. For me, it's not about how much or how little. It's not about if I were affected or I wasn't involved in it. It's more of, if it was wrong, that I will not stop myself. I will speak up. And I did. Although, don't know if something's gonna happen out of it. We're still, you know, they're reaching out. They're reaching out to fix it. But still no money back, no leaves returned, and no certainty as to what their final decision will be. Because the stance that they put on the last couple of weeks was that we just have to accept it the way it is. So we don't know. We don't know. Hopeful about it. Be safe, everyone. Bye.